parents, today I want to talk about 3 steps that you can take to help keep your baby on track with their motor development, or to help get them back on track if they've been delayed. When we have our first kiddo, you get so excited about these motor milestones. You think about the first time they're going to roll over, when they're going to sit up, when they're going to crawl, when they're going to walk. But what happens as your child starts developing and they're not hitting those milestones as you expected? They are a little bit behind the schedule. Things aren't happening the way they should. They're skipping steps that they're supposed to be doing. What can you do to help them get back on track with this motor development? We are absolutely going to talk about that today. And if you as a parent are looking at your kiddo and thinking, oh, I'm a little worried about my baby or my toddler, their developmental milestones are a little off, or they're doing things that they shouldn't, they're falling behind, maybe toe walking, this video is absolutely for you. Now, when we talk to parents about development, a lot of times they're confused or frustrated because they go to the pediatrician, they measure the height, they measure the weight, and they say, you're right on track, you're in the average, you're in the good region. But so often, these height and weight measurements have nothing to do with their gross motor development. So yeah, we're on track in one area, but what if we're really off track in another area? What can we do for our kiddos? And often bigger kids even take longer to walk. We had this situation in our office with Mr. Liam. He came in, had been crawling for a while, mom was getting worried, really needed to transition to that walk stage, and she wanted to keep him on track with his development. Sought out our care, loved working with him. We still get to work with him on our wellness program, and he started walking. He did exactly what he needed to. We got to tag team him with a couple other therapists, and it was absolutely amazing to watch him go from that crawl to walk to catch back up on those milestones, catch up on that motor development he was missing. Guys, this is really important because motor development needs to be sequential. I've talked about this in previous videos too. We really need to walk before we talk. We need to go through these things in sequential order. And I know the CDC took crawling off of the developmental milestone. Don't even get me started on that today. It's a rant for a different day, but it really is important to go through these things sequentially. So what can you do? Here are 3 steps that you can do to help keep your child on track or get them back on track with their motor development. Now, the first thing is, don't focus on strength with babies. Babies, newborns, are not supposed to be strong. They're supposed to be loose and floppy and relaxed. Their job is to eat, sleep, poop, and grow. They are not supposed to be having strong legs, rolling over, holding their head up immediately. All of these things are a sign of tone issues with babies. We don't want them doing this. Number 2, do tummy time early. Now, when we're doing early tummy time, we're not focusing on strength. We just said babies don't need to be strong, right? It's not a strength conversation here. It's getting them comfortable in that position so that they're ready to build the strength later. And now tummy time doesn't have to be baby alone on the ground. It can just be on mom or dad's chest or belly. It can be in the carrier, in a wrap with mom or dad. All of these are great ways to do tummy time that aren't just baby alone on the floor. That contact is really still important for our little babies. And then number 3, prioritize crawling, not walking. If you get those, don't register for those walking toys on your baby registry. If you get them, throw them out. You do not want to encourage early standing and walking. Crawling is critical, you guys. You really want them to crawl for at least 3 to 4 months before they start going to stand to walk. And so I know it's really exciting to get them to walk, but we don't want to do that yet. We really need to hit that crawling milestone. So often when we have kids who stand and walk early, they're more at risk for things like toe walking, poor coordination, and even balance, behavior, and sensory problems later down the line. So if you've seen one of my previous videos about Toby, that's actually the category that Mr. Toby fell into. And so you really, if they're crawling longer than you expected them to, be okay. Crawling is a great stage for them to be in. Kind of talk to your providers, watch that, but crawling is a good stage for them to be in, guys. We really want to prioritize that crawling stage of things. And a bonus step, if your kiddo is delayed with their crawling, walking, they're having low tone issues, seek out a pediatric chiropractor. They absolutely can help assess them for these tone challenges. Sometimes the motor tone challenges can be tied back to birth stress, delivery stress. And so babies commonly have this overall stress in their bodies, and they can be holding stress, they can be holding tone in the wrong places. So if you're being told to have like low tone in the core, low tone in the extremities, a lot of times we have high tone somewhere else, like in the neck, in the in the spine, in the brainstem. And so we definitely want to get this assessed, right? We want to look and see what's going on for our kiddos. Is the tone in the wrong area? How do we get that rebalanced out to help our kiddo get back on track with those motor development? So if this is your kiddo, they're struggling with those milestones, they're getting off track with their milestones, you want to help them get back on, you want to help make sure, avoid any problems. You know, you haven't hit any of the milestones yet, but you want to make sure you hit them on time. Get your kiddo into our office. We'll get them one of our neurological scans, totally safe, non-invasive. Find out what's going on inside their little body. Do they have stress? Do they have tone in the wrong area? Are they gonna have challenges? Do they have precursors to challenges that we can help address and help keep them on track or get them back on track from these motor milestone struggles? Our phone number is gonna be linked up here, guys. We are waiting for you with hope, help, and answers.